auction proposal. Talked about that last week. And then we have the industrial appraisal proposal.
Mayor, on the industrial appraisal proposal, or I'm sorry, the New York, industrial appraisal proposal, that was started quite a bit of time ago. Do we have money appropriated for that still?
Well, we talked about it during the budget. I know I put money in the budget. I don't know if you left it, and where's Jim?
Yeah, he's not here, so.
I believe there is money, yes. Or he can find money.
There is a contingency fee, so $50,000 in the general fund.
I know, but I'm pretty sure we spoke about that it was quite a lot overdue when.
I know that I put money in it, so if you left it, it's still there. If you didn't leave it, in any case, I know that Jimmy said that he can find the money in the budget, so.
Pretty sure we did leave it, it's there.
Okay.
I thought we did.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I just
So
wanted
it's-
to double check, but.
Because we knew it was 14 years overdue. All right, and then we have the sale of vehicles no longer needed for village purposes.
How many do we have? How many? 3 now.
3 police cars, and I don't know if we go sell a tractor or not.
I only
Tony,
have 3 police cars.
is the tractor going up for auction, that old one that's sitting out in your yard, or just the police cars?
As far as I know, just the police cars right now.
Or there's a dump truck there too, right?
There's a dump truck there, a sweeper, and the old tractor.
Are those gonna go up for auction, or are you still utilizing them at all?
I haven't been, involved in any discussion about that yet. I wasn't,
Okay.
it's fine by me. I mean, if you want to do it, absolutely, I have no problem with it.
Can it be included in the process with the 3 police cars, or does it have to be something additional? I don't know how this process
Are
works.
we using a service, or we just do it on our own?
Just advertise for sealed,
See what bids.
yeah, sealed bid,
Okay.
and then they open up the sealed bid, and the highest bidder gets the vehicles. We do have a thing that we should explore. Long time ago, the board passed a resolution allowing us to use, I believe the company is propertyroom.com. Don't hold me to that being the company name, but they'll take any municipal property, and then they put it online and they sell it. And they'll take anything. They'll take old computers, they'll take old desks, they'll take anything. They just come around about once a month or once a quarter, depending on what kind of inventory you turn over. And we probably should re-explore. I'm not saying we need to do that with these 3 cars, because we really need to get these cars out of that lot and get them going. But if you want, I can try and find that information again and look into that again. I'm not saying we get more, but it just seems to me we'd have more people bidding on your properties, so you should get more.
There's a couple of services that I use. There's one in Rochester, I believe. It's a company that does municipal auctions. And they do it on a 3-month or every quarter, they do a municipal auction. And it's an online auction. I've purchased vehicles and I've purchased equipment off of those in the past. But yeah, it's a service that, I know of 2 out of the Rochester area.
As I say, again, I don't hold me to it, but I almost think this place has an office in Rochester.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where our stuff goes, is to Rochester.
Yeah.
But I can look into that again, and I think that's something, because I think we have a lot of inventory to get rid of. I mean, I actually think up in the barns and so, we have old desks and things that just, they come with a cube van and haul it away.
There's no sense in sitting on it. I mean,
They'll even take the bicycles, they even take the bicycles and
Well,
auction them.
Yeah, this other place does a,
We should definitely look into that, definitely make it happen.
yeah,
I mean,
this,
it's just stuff sitting around for no use.
Yes.
I mean, you could use that space for, other things, and if the streets department has
machinery that can't be used, or, you know, the trucks and the street sweeper that we
I
replaced.
don't even know how long that equipment's been laying out there.
Yeah, well then it's time to get rid of it.
Years?
It's definitely time to get rid of it.
I mean, if we can we, what was the board's thought on that? Can we include those 3 other vehicles and equipment in with the 3 police cars? See what we get, because, I mean, the longer they sit there, there's could be scrap value, you know,
Right.
much longer, so at this point, I'd like to entertain including
Can
the street sweeper, tractor, and that
Can we do
Kodiak truck.
Well, I know we have it for the 3, proposed for the 3 vehicles, but can we do that with the other ones?
I would say, why not?
Dan, can we do, is that,
Mr. Garland?
Looking at the resolution, it seems generic enough that it shouldn't be a problem to add them to the list now. Because it just says unused vehicles, it's not
Right.
it
specific.
just says, yeah, because
Okay.
it says unused,
Yep.
which those are. Great,
Okay.
get rid of them.
And then we have the hiring of Nate Aldrich.
Do we have a contract with him?
We do.
Can we, is there any which way?
Well,
we-
this afternoon, Dan has it.
Sure.
Because,
There's no video.
I mean, that would
There's no
explain.
video. It's what people are telling me online. There's no,
I'll check it.
nothing going through.
I mean, we have a scope of services that he provided last week, but as far as particulars,
Then you have the contract, correct?
Yes, the particulars is that it's gonna be a flat fee for 25,000, as he discussed last time we came in. He'd like 4 payments, 4 quarterly payments, which is fine, you know, the 25 to the 25. Additionally, he asked for reasonable expenses, mail, copy, and things like that, which is, you know, fairly standard in a consulting contract.
I can very easily print it if you want me to.
Yeah,
It
I
just
mean,
this
there's
afternoon
nothing-
came.
There's nothing outside really of what he talked about when he came the other day, regardless of the other things he sent over.
okay.
I mean, it's all included. It's basically him continuing to do what he's done for us in the past. It's just this time he hired.
Okay. Yeah, Roger brought up a point though about, you know, is this fee contingent on like, okay, he does one project and, you know, or, you know, these are kind of particulars, you know, does he work on the projects we have currently and that's it, or is he, you know?
No,
No.
it's not contingent. It's just a flat fee.
Right.
So what he does or doesn't do is the $25,000. That's our risk. That's it. Okay. But I mean, I think Nate has a proven track record of, you know, doing a lot for the village and going above and beyond. So I don't see that as being a problem.
I didn't think it was, I just, you know, if there was the contract there, it'd be very,
As soon as we're done with the workshop, I'll go down and print it for you.
thank you.
Right? Yep. No problem. Right. I don't have anything else. So if you want to discuss anything, it's,
Yeah, the LED light conversion, are our lights in the park converted to LED now?
Yes,
yep.
Okay, that was the email that you sent that you forwarded to us.
Oh, so that's,
they're all done.
That's why, okay.
we have one out on this part, on the,
Yeah, I got in touch with them today, I think there's a problem with the pole, so.
oh, okay.
Check it out.
There was some discussion in either last year or year before about the street lights being converted over to LED, and there was a company that the mayor had that provided a proposal, and I think Rick also had a proposal from National Grid that was quite a bit less and different things. I don't know if anybody remembers any of that, or,
I remember it very well, actually. It was a big difference between the two. And at no point we sat down to discuss exactly how to do it, because there is a whole issue as to who is going to own the poles, who is going to own the lights, who is going to take care of the lights, if we go to a different company, if we stay with them, and it was never very specific. Where I left it, and then so many other things came about, was that we were expecting them, that company, and I don't remember the name, I apologize, to come back with a price including the poles, or at least the lights. And they had some bureaucratic problems, let's say. So this is where we are. But now I have every reason to believe that we can include some of it some of the money, the $2.5 million, that is going to be towards the streetscape on Main Street and Temple Street and around there, we can probably use some of this money for lights, because lights are part of streetscape.
Well, wasn't there an issue of having to buy out the
Exactly,
old light,
yeah.
you had to pay
That-
them to
that-
buy
that
the
was-
old light to put the new light in?
Yeah,
Which
that's,
was-
it's,
I thought it was there were high costs on that.
There were, because then
It
you
was a
own the
huge
pole, and you
cost.
own the light, and you have to maintain it yourself. I mean, the one route was that we kind of just break away from National Grid, and you go with a different company, you maintain it, you have to have the personnel to maintain it, and so forth and so on. Where National Grid gave a proposal of just converting it over, and they would still maintain the poles, so that was something that I mean, I have it at home.
the expense to buy the poles, it was huge. The number was extremely expensive. So that's, I think that was the main reason we stopped discussing it. And as I said, that other company never came back with an actual proposal. So I still have it in my mind very much so, but it just didn't happen.
I mean, next meeting, I can bring, I have those at home, the two proposals, the one from the company you had been in contact with, and the person, I can't remember his name, that Tony was in contact with National Grid, gave a proposal too. I can bring that in for everybody as well.
And that number was so much lower.
Like 95,000 or
Yes,
98,000?
to convert everything, and it never made sense to me, how come if they give us everything, they ask something for like $600,000, and then to convert them themselves, only 95. So, yeah, but we should go back and check it.
They wanted, the cost to continue maintenance was then, for ongoing forever, so that they would continue to get funds that way. And there was like these recurrent costs that associated with that maintenance. So it seemed like there was added cost one way or another. It's,
And the
it was either a big cost upfront or long-term, costs.
And the other thing about it was that, if you remember, that company gave us a whole booklet with different options and different streets and different other things for residential, other things for commercial. And then National Grid gave us a line to change everything this much. So I think we should look into it much better, much more. So if you want to bring it up, great.
Yeah, I
I
can
think
bring
that you need to consider a color rendering index as well as luminance and cost.
What was the first word you said?
Color
Color.
rendering index. So I could, an example are the signs which were installed a year ago at the entrance to SUNY Fredonia. So they have LED lights illuminating those signs. So one should form an opinion about whether that quality is appealing to you or not before pursuing these sorts of purchases.
Well, we can utilize the lights in the park as a reference, I think, too, if people are like that I see what you're talking about. There's bright light, there's daylight, and there's like soft white light.
Right, but I've made a career of color rendering, so, in my professional life. So this is a concern, if it's not appealing aesthetically, then we shouldn't invest into it, and we should think about it. And we have these examples which are on display at SUNY Fredonia now that we can consider.
And also, they were talking about the frequency, a different frequency for residential areas and different for commercial areas, which give the different kind of light.
Yes.
So, all right, well, it's definitely something that we should look into because it represents a great savings for the village if we are ready to go that direction. Anything else?
Yep. Jim, I have a question for you. Last meeting, we spoke about facility repairs and upgrades at the police department down below, and we were talking about savings that we had with the front steps that was appropriated in the budget for that. But in the budget here, we also already have $34,500 already appropriated for that, and we haven't used any of that yet.
Well, I'm spending it now.
Are you? Good.
Yeah.
Can we make some repairs that would be temporarily fixed until we can come up with a viable, long-term solution, you think, with that?
We were discussing
amount of money?
that.
I had some heater, there was some heater, electric heater work done that was supposed to, it was actually one of the OSHA required repairs, and I had it scheduled to be done, and I was told not to do it because it was gonna be part of a big project that was done. I just moved forward on that. I just had, so the heater's been repaired, LED lights were installed and replaced in the cells today. Pucci's was in and measured for, replace the carpeting and probably get rid of carpet and go to some sort of a laminate, a waterproof laminate flooring. They have state contract pricing, so was wonderful news for me. So, and then Tony and I talked last week about some concrete work that needs to be done inside the jail cells. So that money's being spent as we speak.
Does that
Did
seem-
Pussy give you an offer?
Oh,
Pussy's,
they were just measuring today.
okay.
They weren't available until after the holiday. So I will be getting some sort of samples to look at and some sort of pricing by later this week, I'm sure.
Okay. And
The pictures that were shown at last meeting, is that the concrete repair that you're speaking of to do?
And we can talk about that, but that really just needs to be really honest with you, we gotta be really careful about the order in which we do things. The parking lot the gutters need to be fixed. There's no downspout here. There's no heat tape that I have been listening to experts come and tell this board for decades that you need heat tape in these gutters, or the Opera House roof is gonna continue to leak.
we looked into that actually, because last week after we talked about
Yeah.
it. And apparently they told us that there is no outlet there to put the heat tape.
I'm sure that's correct, but it would be very easy to get an outlet up there for a heat tape.
However, Rex is going to, I asked Tony to ask Rex to look into the drainage problem, because if we don't fix the drainage problem at the parking lot, then your walls are gonna.
And it's directly related to the gutter. It's just
Yeah.
like at home. If the gutters aren't working, the basement floods, and that's what's happening here. And
We're going to fix that, I mean, there is no other way.
right, so I'm reluctant to start, and I shared with the mayor last week, I'm reluctant to start a whole bunch of concrete work there because, I mean, I've watched them repair the public bathrooms in the basement 3 times now, only to have it deteriorate again because the water's just coming right back in and destroying the drywall that they keep putting up down there. And so definitely, but to answer your question, that picture, no, what I'm talking about is in the jail cells, which is really important to me because I have 2 jail cells that I simply can't even put people in right now because the walls have deteriorated to the point where I can't have them in there ingesting it. So,
We talked about contacting Kathy Young and seeing if anybody could come and do a visual, like a come and look.
And as I said, I did contact her office, and I'm expecting that they're going to call me back to come and actually have a bigger tour for her to come and see the police department, the fire department. We have many departments for her to come.
Maybe Andy Goodell as well.
Yeah.
How about George? Has George seen the jail?
George
Maybe he
knows
could offer some help.
the situation.
Suggestions.
Yes, George knows the situation, and I talked to him quite a few times about it. But you're right, maybe he should come and see and check it out.
Again.
Yeah, to see.
Tony?
That's probably a good idea.
He's very familiar with that.
Excuse me, Tony, Would there be time in the season here? I know it's late, probably not. Are the blacktop plants already shut down?
Yes.
So parking lot work is not gonna happen?
No, we passed it earlier. But no, I got, Rex is coming Wednesday to see me about 2 different issues. And that is certainly one of them, but the chief and I were just huddling here that tomorrow we're gonna make a couple calls regarding his, very accurate comments on the downspouts, and getting electric outlet up there. These are all very doable.
So it sounds like we may have to wait until almost springtime here to start big time working on these projects.
As
Not the
far as
gutters.
Downspout?
The
No.
gutters, no, but like the parking lot and
Yeah.
interior work, yes. So
You know,
those-
we have really good drainage out there. I mean, over the years, the DPW is hooked, the gutters go right into the storm sewer. I mean, they've done a really good job of getting the gutters hooked in. It's a matter of getting the gutters to function. That's the problem is, in the gutters, every time we put them back up, they come back down because of the ice buildup. And the ice buildup is due to the massive heat loss. And the heat loss is due to the fact that we have a very poorly insulated attic. So we either need to really vent the heck out of that attic or get some heat tape up there to try and mitigate. I'm not saying that that's gonna resolve that issue, but it's gonna help it. It's probably the cheapest first step.
Yeah.
Because they talked about coming in and spraying foam on all of the heat exchangers up in the attic, 'cause, you know, there's exchangers in the attic, like duct work in the attic, and they talked about spraying foam on all the duct work and doing all kinds of things that would be expensive and.
Insulation is going to help, but as you said, we have to fix the downspout first, and the gutters before we do anything else.
Try that first. I think that's a really good resolution. My point being, I think we can resolve it even before we get to the whole parking lot deal. I think we resolve a big part of our problem.
So a lot of the infiltration of water was from that problem and not just the slope of the parking lot?
Well, I think the slope is part of the
Part of it as
problem, but
well.
I think if we can get the gutters to get the water into the storm sewer, which they're directly hooked in. So right now that water's just falling right up against the building.
I'll
And
make
then
a
the-
call tomorrow and get a guy here that's very big, I won't mention names, but very big commercially in the area, and very, very professional.
Would it be too soon for the next meeting to come back with some preliminary plan?
We may even have it done.
Yeah,
I don't think we're talking about a big
Okay.
money item. I
Okay.
really don't.
I
I
don't
think,
either.
Oh, okay.
This is something you could just do,
But if you're okay
within the budget, I'm sure. I mean, this is not.
I'm sure it's within the
Yeah,
budget.
this is-
Yeah.
You don't need
Yeah, I
to
don't
go out to
think
bid
so.
on
Okay.
this.
Yeah, if you're all okay with it, we'll get on the phone tomorrow and get some people down here and
Yeah, and fix
take
it.
a look at it and try and
I
mitigate
mean,
it.
that's the plan,
All
to
right.
just do it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
Good.
great. Anything else?
Everyone had a chance to review the proposal from Wendell?
Yes.
I did.
I would like to bring her down to explain the entire proposal, so we have some dates available for a workshop meeting. I'll forward them to her.
The 13th, we're having somebody from O'Brien and Gear to explain the water plan. If they want to come at the same day or, because it has to be a meeting and not a workshop.
Right.
Yeah, so 13th is, okay.
Ryan, was that quite a lot higher? I know the figures there.
For the exterior of the building, no, if you add in both the roofs and some of the other stuff, that's ballpark.
Yeah, but I mean, they included roofs on a project that probably we weren't thinking about, but at their end of their lifespan, so.
I asked you to include those just to make the board aware of what could be coming up, probably within the next 5 years with those.
If not sooner, it might be part of some of the problems.
Could be.
there, too.
Anything else? Right. Okay, let's take a long break. Good evening. I call this regular meeting to order. At the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, duly called and held on the 26th day of November 2018 at 7:30 in the Trustees' Room, second floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the news media and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at this meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees' regular meeting of November 13th, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved, this board approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
I second that.
Trustee Barris.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Bridge.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Have the public portion.
This portion of the meeting is for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to speak, once recognized, shall stand and state their name and address. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes if speaking for themselves, or 5 minutes if speaking on behalf of a group. I will ask the speakers to refrain from remarks that are in poor taste, slanderous, or not germane to any action taken or contemplated by the board.
Any member of the public?
My husband and I,
Can you
Your name?
stand? You say your name, please?
my name is Emily Smith, and my husband is Aaron Smith. And we just have a concern about a water and sewer bill that we received that we need resolved. We got a bill, it was for just the 3 months use, was $2,146.64. And normally our bill is, last month for the 3 months, the previous bill was $165.67. And we had the water company come to our house, and they did a high usage water check, and they found no leaks or anything in our home. So we would like to come to a conclusion to solve this problem.
Right, thank you, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, so we close the public portion. And to address that a little bit, you live where, Newton Street, you said? Newton Street. Actually, I know two other people from Newton Street that had a problem, one very similar. And after she came here a few times, and we were trying to find out what was the problem. And at the end, this is what happened. She made it a point to go downstairs and check on the water meter every day.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, good, yes. And actually, she sent me an email a couple of weeks ago telling me that they found a leak. And this is what it was. One day, all of a sudden, she knew that nothing was running in the house, and still the meter was going. So she called the plumber, and they found a very small leak in the hot water pipes. Now, apparently, the area has some problems with rusty pipes. So the rust can produce some small leaks, and then the rust goes back and closes those leaks. So one day you have a leak, and the next day you don't have a leak. I'm not suggesting that this is what's going on, but I think that's a possibility. Now, Tony, what can we do? Can we check the meter?
Sure, absolutely. If you folks would be kind enough to give me your name, address, and phone number, and then I'll have our meter personnel check the meter.
Okay.
And if you want to keep checking out on your meter, maybe you will find something similar. I know actually, and somebody else sent me a message about Newton Street a few days ago, having a problem with their water. So thank you for coming. I'm hoping we can find out what's going on. All right.
Excuse me, miss, what was the regular amount that you normally paid that you said, and what was the,
The
Usually every 3 months,
It's $165.67 was the last, and then I do have another bill here that has $143.73. So $2,000 worth would be for 2 years usage.
No, no, that's a
This
big
is for a
difference.
3 month.
I understand that,
bill.
it's a big difference, of course. All right. Now, I don't have too much for my report today. I wanted to thank Tony. Thank you very much for the decorations. Thank you for fixing the lights. Thank you for going up there. The village looks pretty good. And Ryan, I know. Thank you very much for doing all that during rain and wind and all. The village looks very nice, so I do thank you very much. I also want to thank you. I got a message, Mr. Gazzino, still talking to you. I got a message, a thank you message for going out and picking up leaves today from a resident. So thank you on behalf of those
Good news
residents.
about picking leaves up when it's raining is it keeps the dust down, so there's a positive.
I know. Yeah, they mentioned that too.
They did well, it was a lot, it's hard, but they did a lot, so commend them.
Thank you nevertheless, thank you. We also, as you noticed, we have a brand new Christmas tree. We had a very small one up to last year, so this year we decided to get a bigger one. And Mr. Sedano was good enough to allow us to do it inside the budget. But however, I do have to mention that Home Depot gave us a very good price. He gave us $150 off. So that tree cost only $350. And today we got another $50 off because the top part was not lighting properly. So at the end, it cost us $300, which is a very good price. I think it looks perfect. So thank you to Home Depot. And this is my report. I have nothing else. So, Mr. Slaughter, do you have a report?
Well, I was going to have a report tonight, but I'm going to be, the next meeting, I promise, I will have a monthly budget report for the mayor of the board and for the department heads to review. I was going to have it ready for tonight, but when I reviewed it, I discovered a couple of problems with it, so I'm in the process of resolving those, and then I'll have a report for you then.
Of course.
Also, I'd just like to mention, I just completed the $30,000 grant that we received for storm damage that was done back in 2015. So the mayor was kind enough to drop it on my desk a couple days ago. And so went back through the records, and I recovered, we'll be able to apply for the full amount for reimbursement. So I just finished that today, too.
And this, that's good. And this is, I have to thank Senator Young actually for that. Last year, she sent us all the papers for the flood problems that they had, damage that they had in 2015. We sent all the papers last year. Apparently, they needed some more detailed information, and that's what I gave you. And I appreciate your work. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Right. Trustee Barris.
I have no comments.
Trustee Christina.
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Linden.
No comments today.
Trustee Bridge.
I just want to mention that this weekend, this Saturday, December 1st, is the Miracle on Main Street to be held in the park from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We hope everyone gets an opportunity to come down and support the festivals and enjoy some of the holiday cheer that's going to be brought this weekend.
Thank you. Trustee Essek.
Yes, last weekend in Dunkirk and Fredonia was Small Business Saturday, this last weekend, Small Business Saturday. A lot of people were out and patronizing small businesses, so it was nice to see. I was going to talk about Miracle on Main Street, but Raj took that. I'd ask the board at this point right now, the resolution to hire Nate, we just received the contract and I had some questions on it. Would there be any interest in tabling it till the next meeting? He's not gonna be hired until January 1st.
The contract is for January 1st.
I know it starts January 1st. We have one more meeting here of the year that we could pass that. And
May I ask why?
because I have questions in the contract that I was just given tonight.
Do you have specific questions on the contract?
Yes, but I don't believe they can be answered at this point right now. Trustee Barris?
Well, we have the
Could you
lawyer
tell us what
here.
they
We
are?
have-
You know, I
So we
guess,
can-
and also I'm kind of getting bothered by the point of asking for information and getting it the night of the time we're going to be voting. This should have been given to us, I don't know when it was provided to us, but it should have been given to us well before tonight, and I had to ask for it. If I didn't ask
Mr.
for it,
Essek, I got it this afternoon. You literally hours before you got it.
Well, then that should be an opportunity for us to table this, so we have an opportunity to review it, and then we'll bring it up for vote at next meeting.
that's my question to the board.
Okay, it's up to the board.
Is there any interest in that, Trustee Barris?
No.
Trustee Christina?
I don't have a problem waiting as long as I'm ready to go forward with this. If we wait until the next meeting, I really want to make this happen for the new year. So that's
There's plenty of
my,
time.
that's, you know,
Trustee Linden?
I don't have any problems, no issues with it. I could proceed with this.
So
Well,
Can
I
we-
was,
well, can
I
we
was
talk
also,
about it?
I'm asking to
can we
table
talk
it.
about it now or not? Is this
I don't need to
not
table
a good time to, I mean, can we talk about the concerns now? Or you
They
want-
want
you
to
just
take it
want-
I
home
don't
and
think
read
they would
it.
be, I don't think they could be addressed. We could talk about them, but I don't think they can be addressed tonight at the meeting.
Who do you, okay.
I don't, I just, you know, I feel that in order for us to make any kind of informed decisions, and I realize you just received it today, we need to look things over and do our proper vetting to make sure everything's correct. I have no, it appears on face value that it's a great thing, but I need to look it over, and there were some questions I had here that I would prefer to
I
table
mean,
this.
and it's up to you, just as long as, we go forward, because Nate already proved himself. He was here 2 weeks ago. He presented this whole thing.
A scope of services he
He's
presented.
presented, yes, which is the contract. And
it's not.
the attorney, our attorney, has looked it over from the legal perspective. So that's fine too.
I just believe this provides us the opportunity that if there are questions and things that need to be corrected, that we have until next meeting to correct them. That's just,
I think that's way too much
So, I would like to
discussion.
make
So
a
if you want
motion
do
to
that,
table
that's
that.
fine.
I'll second the
Resolution?
motion.
Trustee Barris.
Point of order, Mayor, we should put that down the resolution section.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
what I
not-
mean.
Okay, wherever it needs to be put. Okay.
Right. Mr., anything else?
Yes. Mayor, you emailed us an article today from NICOM's publication that deals with recusal of the trustees and matters that are being taken. I would like to take this opportunity right now. I had to recuse myself on some different things here, and it was in the article, it suggested that it be done at the public meeting to be part of the minutes so that it was officially noted. So I'd like to officially do that now, if I could. This is what I will read. If you could pass that down, give everybody a copy, please. There were a couple occasions here, different things that came up, so. To my fellow board, Fredonia Board of Trustees, in the past meetings, I have recused myself from certain discussions and have abstained in voting on matters that have related to discussions concerning 2 employees of the Village of Fredonia. These 2 employees are related to me, and I have not participated on any discussions because of the relationship to me personally. They are close family, they are close members of my family. I have not been advised by our attorney to remove myself from the room during discussions during executive sessions. I have fully disclosed that I was not participating at the time of these discussions and have not voted on these matters in the open meeting portion. I would like to go on the record saying the reason for removing myself from these discussions and voting pertaining to these matters due to the conflict of interest that exists between me and these two employees. Thank you thank you in advance for your understanding in this matter. If this could be put in the minutes.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Hassan?
Yep. With the police station issue that we're discussing and looking for a new location, I do believe this administration should reconsider looking at shared services at this time. Not shared services, shared facilities at this point. Because I'm thinking both our police facilities are in poor repair and in need of more space. Looking at what we have here for estimates to repair the fire department, it's very costly. You have places, our police stations, our courts, our fire department headquarters, administrative locations. I think we need to start looking at shared intermunicipal cooperation and make this kind of part of central connections. The town of Dunkirk was looking to replace their town building on their own. I just feel that we need to start looking into intermunicipal cooperation, seeing what other municipalities need for facilities and their needs, and kind of work together and try to develop something that could work for maybe the North County here, between the city, the village, and the towns. I think it's something that we need to look at seriously down the road, because we can't continue to fund things for on our own, and I think we need to look into this some more. So hopefully our board and our administration can look out of the box and
So you're proposing to look into sharing buildings with the city of Dunkirk?
City of Dunkirk, possibly town of Dunkirk. I know the state police.
Just to make myself clear, first of all, we did look very seriously into it. And there are other corporations talking about outside the box. My belief is, after I did a lot of research, that consolidating people and buildings do not save money. If we save one police officer, that's going to be $50,000, $60,000, which with inflation in 2 years is going to disappear. My proposal from the very beginning was to consolidate the 2 wastewater treatment plants where each equipment cost $1 million. That didn't go anywhere, although I spoke to many people. Now, there are practical things. The only location where we can put a police department with Dunkirk, the city of Dunkirk, is on Central Avenue. Okay. That particular location right now has 5 businesses that pay taxes. So we have to take all these businesses out and lose the taxes. Number 2, Central Avenue, my belief, it's not for a police station. Main Street is a police station, where it's close to the businesses, it's close to downtown, not in a residential area where we have our most expensive houses, let's say. That's my personal belief. As for consolidation, yes, there are other consolidations we can discuss, and I started some discussions preliminarily. But to my way of thinking, we should look in other ways to cooperate with the city of Dunkirk. So if you want to go back and check it again, by all means. But all this discussion about there is money, where is the money? We applied for that through last year, 2 years ago. We applied for $20 million to do exactly that. There's no money. Nothing came.
Well, I don't think we should stop there, and I know when you proceed on your own, there's little to no funding available compared to.
We
if
did
you-
not. We pursued through the county. The county applied for this amount, not me.
I'm speaking if you look at a facility on your own that to build, you're looking at very little to no assistance from the state. So I just feel, and this is my opinion, you have your opinion, I have mine, I believe someday here we need to cooperate with our other municipalities and start to look at the big picture. We can't do it on our own. There's lots of big issues, and we need to work that way.
Could I ask the police chief and the fire chief to comment about operational concerns involved in having those two departments in a single building?
This,
Which two departments?
Fredonia Fire Department and Fredonia Police Department.
we have to discuss that in a workshop meeting session, I suppose.
So that's a question of concern. I don't need to hear an answer right this minute. So,
If I may make a quick-
He was asking about your concerns or thoughts in general about.
For a central
cooperation.
location between Dunkirk and Fredonia as far as your police
Well,
department.
I could probably answer that, but that discussion has been had. It's been worked on numerous times over the years. The county brought the proposal forward as part of that consolidation effort with the state. And that was as an attempt to receive $20 million. They thoroughly investigated it. They were asked to bring proposals and studies forward. They did not do so. But through the number of meetings and conferences we've had with them, they found no reason to go forward at this time because they presented nothing for us. So as my belief that there is nothing there for us to move forward, we've discussed it over and over and over. It would not be as beneficial to go with that
So it'd be more
municipality.
beneficial to go on your own with no aid whatsoever.
Well, that's
and
not,
be totally
we're not saying there is no aid. We're not
Very
saying
little, I
that.
think it was
There's-
like $300,000 was
there-
proposed.
well, there's not a debate here, Doug. The problem is
That's
just.
right,
it's-
that's
it's-
my
it's-
time to talk.
I'm just saying what I had met with.
By all means,
as far as-
Mr. Essek, if you want to bring something forward, by all means, do that.
I can't do anything without the complete consent of this board to move forward and doing anything. I can't
Not
act
to move
unilaterally.
forward, just to bring us some information, not to move forward. Obviously, we cannot.
Does the board authorize me to move forward and get information?
Authorized to do what?
I was accused last year of acting unilaterally, doing something, and I didn't, so I just want to make sure the board is on full support of me doing anything like this, that's all. I know there's a committee out on it. It would be kind of pointless for me to do it if there's a committee doing it already, so.
I think the committee might want to consider reconvening for further discussion.
We are doing that, actually. We are in the, doing
Well,
that.
then that
There
would,
was, like I said, there was a number of efforts that came forward, and some of them failed. So we would keep moving forward. And like I said, we were delayed in our own community going forward as we were, because we had to research. We requested to, and actually, as part of a requirement of the state, we were in the county, we had to go through with that discovery that they included us with. And that discovery held us back a very long time. And now we're trying to find other avenues to make things happen. And if it means combining something within our community, maybe that might be a helpful solution. But if, in the meantime, we're going to keep pushing forward till we find the right answer. You're right.
I'd like to just to finish, to remind everybody that the only grant that I found was $200,000 for the building that is going to cost close to $3 to $4 million. Nobody was able to find any more money than that, although many people assured me that the money is there. All right, Mr. God, do you have any? All right, let's go to resolutions.
Whereas the village believes that a significant amount of potable water is being lost to leaks in the village's distribution system, and whereas New York Leak Detection Incorporated is willing and capable to provide leak detection services, and whereas New York Leak Detection Incorporated has agreed to provide a comprehensive leak detection survey and report on the approximately 67.5 miles of water distribution lines at a cost of $16,000, therefore be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with New York Leak Detection Incorporated to provide leak detection services.
I second that motion.
I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee
I
Linden.
vote aye.
Trustee Ritz.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Whereas the village requires certified appraisal for its facilities and equipment, and whereas the industrial appraisal company has offered to perform said appraisal for a fee of $14,000, inclusive of all expenses, and whereas appraisal services are professional services and do not require public bidding pursuant to paragraph 6A of the village procurement policy. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with the industrial appraisal company to appraise the village's facilities and equipment.
I second the resolution, and I vote aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
I believe that this program has not been done in quite some time, and I think it would be very valuable for this process to happen, so I vote aye.
Trustee Ritz.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes. Be it resolved, the village clerk is hereby authorized to advertise for informal sealed bids for the sale of unused vehicles no longer needed for village purposes. Said bids shall be received at the village clerk's office, 9 to 11 Church Street, Fredonia, New York, until 10 a.m. on December 14, 2018, at which time the bids shall be publicly opened and read aloud. The village board of trustees reserves the right to reject any and all bids and to accept the bid deemed the most advantageous to the village of Fredonia. Said vehicles shall be sold in an as-is condition, and no warranties of any kind are made with respect to these vehicles.
I'll second the motion.
Trustee
vote
Burns. Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee
I
Linden.
vote aye.
Trustee Ritz.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes. I make a motion to table this resolution until next meeting.
I'll
Trustee-
second it.
Trustee Barris.
No.
Trustee Christina.
I'll vote to table it with the caveat that I would be willing to vote yes for this tonight as well as the next time, but I'll vote to table it for now.
Trustee Linden.
I believe the way it was described, the scope of services is reflected within the contract. I believe that the attorney has done his job in writing the contract. I read the contract, reflects all of those, everything that was discussed. And so I would be prepared to move forward today, so I vote no.
Trustee Ritz.
I wasn't here for Nate's presentation last meeting, so I didn't get an opportunity to talk to Nate. Also, I just was handed the agreement just this evening, so I didn't have a proper time to review it myself and discuss some issues I have with the attorney. So I move yes to table it.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Okay, so it's tabled for the next meeting. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn if there's no further business.
I'll second that.
Trustee Barris.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Ritz.
Yes.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.